All right, Paula, you have a new show now at Broadmoor Sanctuary. How did that happen?
I was invited by Chris Cleveland, who is the director of the gallery there. He contacted me and said, "Would you like to show?" And I said, "Absolutely." And he goes, "Well, it's rather short notice. He contacted me December 1st. And I said, "Oh, I got the work." So we set it up, and I've been there since January 2nd through February 28th.
That's awesome. Now, I was listening to a lot of people there saying, "How does she do so much work? She must be incredibly disciplined." Are you incredibly disciplined?
I think I'm a pretty disciplined person. I paint every day, and I feel it's my job. Not only is it my job, but it's my survival, it's my passion, it's everything I like to do.
And do you do it first thing after your morning coffee, or how do you do it?
My routine is, I work at the Museum of Fine Arts 2 days a week.
Oh.
So the rest of the week, I get up in the morning, I have my coffee, go out for my runner, my walk, come back, and I start painting, usually around 9:15.
What do you do at the museum?
I teach 2 classes there. One class I teach is a painting intensive, so people come up with their own series of ideas that they want to paint. And the other class I teach is painting and drawing inspired by the collection at the museum. So we draw in the gallery, turn it into a painting. So every other week, one in the gallery, then we go and paint in the studios. And they're adult classes. I've been teaching my entire adult life and painting my entire adult life. I never stopped.
I've always thought teaching something helps you to understand it better.
I couldn't agree more. It helps you clarify, articulate. I think if you can say something, you can internalize it better. If you have to explain it, communicate it, then it gets your wheels going, and how are you going to do something, and what are you trying to get across? And so I think it's very, very helpful.
Now, I was wondering, when did you get into this nature thing? What did you do before that?
Boy, that's a great question. I've always liked painting people, and I used to, when I was younger, I painted my family, I painted people I knew, I painted situations I'd been into, and somewhere around, I want to say 15, 20 years ago, I would walk the dog every day, and I started to walk a lot, and I started observing the world around me, and I started looking at animals in a different way. Mm-hmm. And it kind of snowballed that it's an auspicious moment for me when I see wild animals, even birds. Mm-hmm. And it just kicked my imagination off, and it's just been going ever since.
So I would say about your artwork that it is very painterly. You can see the brush strokes quite often. Has it always been that way?
Always love paint. I've always loved color. And I think what happens the longer you work, if you have a lot on your mind and a lot you want to get out, mm-hmm. you tend to be more painterly, because I can't fuss over every little detail, because I have so many ideas. I just mm-hmm. want to keep going.
Yeah. Well, it's enjoyable to look at the brush strokes, I think.
It's visceral. It's a connectedness. It's immediate. It's like me being confident with what I put down, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who have been your inspirations in the past? That you think directly end up mostly directly in your art?
Okay, that's a good one. I would say if I narrowed it down to the biggest influence, it would be Expressionism. Mm-hmm. Fauvism, Expressionism, because of the brushstroke, because of the color. And for me, emotion is everything. Mm-hmm. If I have to feel something strongly to want to paint it.
And like the artwork we see right next to you here, what inspired you to do these specific works, for instance?
It goes along with my idea of local wild animals, mm-hmm. and the animals that I see. Mm-hmm. I see deer. I've seen bear a couple times. Rarely, really? Bear more rarely, but that one sighting of the bear changed me.
I bet.
It was right behind me, looking down on me. It was beautiful, but it was very special. And I walk in the morning, I walk at night, so I do see deer. I do see coyote and fox once in a while. Mm-hmm. Like this morning, I saw footprints all over the place. And it was great.
Because of the snow.
But local wild animals I feel that I can paint them because I've seen them and they're part of our environment. They're part of my life.
Mm. Now you have some wonderful sculptures at the show. You want to talk about those a little bit? Those are really interesting.
Yeah, these really follow my idea of coexistence of local wild animals living in our human world. And these little animals, I call them cardboard coyotes, are made up from found paper products. And I have different themes, and this one's coffee coyote. And they're actually quite simply made. The idea for them I came up with an environmental art group I'm with called the I3C. And we do outreach and go to different museums around, get different shows. But we like to teach about the climate crisis and things like that. So my idea was to make these cardboard coyotes. And I make a template. This is a toilet paper roll. And I drew up the head, the legs, and the tail. And young people can cut them out and make their own themes of what they want to say. So I would provide magazines and greeting cards and boxes and all kinds of things, which they're thinking about how the animal fits in our world, but they're also thinking about recycling.
Mm-hmm.
And recycled art is a whole fascinating thing in itself.
Yes, really fascinating and kind of fun and funny at the same time.
Yes, and I like that in my artwork too. Mm-hmm. I like to tell stories. I'm narrative. I like to tell stories. Sometimes the stories aren't so happy. That's why I really gravitate towards the story and the bright color. I want to pull people in with the story and the color.
Yeah, there's something amusing but tragic about a lot of your artwork of the animals forced to live so close to human beings and the terrible things we do to nature.
And I have to live with it too because I paint almost every day. And I can't paint dark and moody and macabre.
Right.
I want painting to be joyous. I teach painting as to be something joyous, to something that you can always do and make you have a better life.
Now, do you think making art transforms the artist?
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit, please. How has it transformed you?
I think as a general rule, I'm a pretty positive person. It's transformed me, one, through the work, and through the work is I have purpose. I always have something I need to say and do. And that narrative part, and I'll see something and I have to express it. I have to get it out. And when I'm working on these paintings, all these different things occur to me. My histories, memories, dreams, things I've read, and it just takes me into another place where I am transformed and I start seeing connections, and I just feel it. I'm very passionate about it. It just makes my life feel more full.
Talk a little bit about the importance of an artist having a sort of discipline of themselves. I mean, people think of art as just playing, but it's not.
You could call it serious fun, you could call it a discipline, you could call it a job, you could call it a compulsion, a passion. Being a teacher, I feel that the discipline is probably one of the biggest parts of it all, because there's tons of people with talent out there. There's tons of people with good ideas. There's tons of people that can draw way better than me, paint way better than me, but I have a drive, and that drive I think is very important. So it does become a job. You do have to set time up every day for it, and I have found the more I work, the more fluid I become, the more ideas flow easily, the paint comes off easy, everything just becomes more easily accessible that way. And I think there is a rhythm and a movement and a flow to working every day at something. You could say that for an athlete, you could say that for anyone in their practice. Mm-hmm. It's the doing the work.
Well, whenever I look at your artwork, I think about the painter, because I think you're so much in your paintings.
They're autobiographical. they're me. I wanted to show you this self-portrait.
Sure. Oh, I love this. I love the self-portrait.
This painting, a friend had asked me. You want me to put it over on the easel here? A friend had, people would say, Paula, you should paint people more, you should paint people more. I said, well, I do, but every time I want to paint, it's the animal ideas that come forward. So I did this self-portrait, and a friend said, you do so much movement in your work, try to put movement in your face. And so I was just building up the brushwork. And then the hair. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I just love that.
Very, very dynamic, a lot of energy.
In this painting, they all have something to do with animals, since this bird is taking off here. And I've been looking online at lots of different pictures, and I saw some time-lapse photos of birds in flight. And so with the tangle of the branches, I said, oh, these can represent birds in flight. These lines here. And so that the painting I'm working on right now is the follow-up to it. Half the sky is birds in flights, and I'm getting interested in different kind of ways of looking at the world. I have an idea of microscopic images as part of the picture with my stories. The time lapse thing as an interesting thing. So I said to someone recently, "Oh, I'm getting a little more sciencey with these."
Now, do you ever think of people as animals?
No, but animals are people.
Okay.
And they are all I have a private, I know who those people are that I'm painting, that they might be a coyote or a deer or a rabbit. Yes.
I didn't know if you were secretly a bird.
I think I'm probably more of a deer.
Okay.
I would like to be a bird. I think it's that flying away and getting away and that movement thing. Yeah, I probably would like to be a bird.
Maybe that's your goal. Starting as a deer, becoming a bird.
Right. When I started years ago with the animal thing, I started with a bunch of bird's nests, and I found all this human debris that I made the bird's nest out of and put the birds in the middle. So this one with a seagull, this was in a show with the I3C, and it was hanging down in Barnstable a few months ago, and it took me years to put this.
Oh, wow.
It took me years to put this together. I'm also a scavenger. I go to this is a lot of the stuff I find down at Nantasket Beach, and I just take home bags full of stuff all the time. And this is just that whole thing of the battle between the birds, the fish, the fishermen, nature, the human stuff left behind, mixed, intermingled with the shells and nature forms. But I probably have 50 collage pieces.
Do a collage show sometime.
Yes, I think I should.
All right.
So the guy from Broadmoor invited me next year to show at Habitat in Belmont. Maybe I'll do a collage animal.
Okay. I will be sure to be there.
Thank you.
All right.